Hi, I'm Aaron McHardy, and we're talking about FIFA 16 gameplay.
So what's new when it comes to gameplay this year?
Really what we're trying to do this year is innovate across the entire pitch. And what that means is we're making lots and lots of changes everywhere across the game to really get a more balanced experience, a more organic experience with lots of moments of magic.
So what does that mean? Let's walk through the different aspects. Let's start with on offense.
So in attack, we really want to try and bring new moments of magic. So we've done a lot of work in our shooting system to give a lot more consistency to the way that we strike the ball. With clinical finishing, we've done some work on the model of the foot in the 3D space, so we understand better when it contacts the ball what kind of realistic trajectories we're going to get as an outcome. Doing this and doing some other work on the momentum effect and the elastic effect of the ball coming in, we've allowed ourselves to get those explosive shots when we want them, when you're on the run and you really catch the ball right, and maybe give you a little bit of a better understanding of what you've done if you've miskicked the ball and the trajectory goes wide. So that's kind of what we've done in the shooting space. We've done a lot in dribbling as well. We have a brand new feature called no-touch dribbling this year, which is a new mechanic. By pressing a modifier, allows you to decide when you touch the ball, not just where you touch the ball when you touch it. And this gives you a lot of power to be able to fake out defenders. Allows you to bait a player in, to wait for that perfect moment to go around them, to slow down play, buy time for somebody to make a run into space, or even get to some more deeper mechanics with little and bigger feints and some manual shielding effects that we have built into the system. So it really peels off in layers of all the new things you can do with no-touch dribbling in attack.
When it comes to the experience, you talk about the different aspects like the midfield and how you've kind of changed the gameplay or evolved the gameplay depending on where you are on the field.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of work in defending and confidence in defending, and we've done a lot of work to try and make the midfield matter. And those two things really go hand in hand. I'm going to start talking about defending because I feel like it's the foundation of what we're doing this year. In last year's game, balance was an issue for us. Our fast dribblers were able to break down defenders 1v1 situations, and our teams didn't do a good enough job compensating for that dangerous space. So we've added a new feature called defending as a unit, where players will have the intelligence to understand where the dangerous space on the pitch is and make a decision between marking their man closely or running back to cover that dangerous space. And that change alone allows your team to be in a better position to stop those players coming in attacking with menace against you. Further to that, we've done a whole lot of work on tackling this year. We've added a whole suite of new slide tackles that travel further with less friction on the ground. We've given you the ability to branch out of those slide tackles, so it's not a be-all, end-all decision if you decide to launch a slide tackle and take yourself out of the play if you miss. Based on context, or also based on a button press, will allow you to branch and get to a quick get-up to get right back into the play and be able to make yourself effective as a defender. We've also done work on standing tackles to make them trigger in the more appropriate contexts. We've added a whole layer of in-air standing tackles. There was a lot of situations in the game where you press a standing tackle and ask for a standing tackle, and because the ball was bouncing, you couldn't actually contact the ball. We've added assets for all those mid to high areas so that you'll always have a solution when you press the tackle button. We've also added fake tackles, which is a new feature this year in our tackling context, to give you all the tools that you really need to have defensively when you're trying to win back possession from the opposition. But the biggest change that we've done on the defensive side of the ball is in locomotion and defensive agility. We've done a lot of work to bring the dribbling and the locomotion, so the attacker and the defender, into a much better balance this year. Somewhere between 20 and 25 feature changes we've made this year, which is a huge slate of changes just to make that feel right. And you really notice it when you're turning to try and track defenders. We've added new swing steps, a new behavior where a player will be able to turn 270 degrees facing the ball to be able to stay in the play. We've worked on the agility of players to bank the corners so that they can actually make sharper turns and more rounded turns without losing all of their momentum. We've done a lot of work on the dribbling side of the ball to make sure that players aren't unrealistically sprinting with possession. Obviously, we know it's easier for a player to run without the ball than it is for them to run with the ball, so we've made lots of changes throughout the game to really bring those two things into balance. And that's created a nice foundation for us to stop attacks as they come towards us. And that's the first piece of the puzzle in bringing back the midfield. Last year, we felt like players could bypass the midfield quite easily in FIFA, and we wanted to do some work on that. So we've worked wholeheartedly on our interception intelligence, interception logic in the game, to make players more active and going in to try and win possession back for you when passes are played near them. This is your teammates and everybody around you being able to step in and pick off passes that are errant or not quite to their target, or something, a slow pass that maybe you feel like you can get to before another player. It'll be based on personality, and it'll actually be even tied to our player instructions feature in Team Tactics, so you can have some control over how aggressive you want your players to be when they're trying to intercept the ball. But realistically, this is a fundamental change in the way that the balance of FIFA plays out, and a lot of it is due to the athleticism and the intensity that players go after those interceptions with, make you think about how you're building up play through the midfield. Now, I've talked a whole lot about defending. I got to tell you what we've done on the attacking side in terms of the midfield to really open up those opportunities. And we have a brand new feature called Passing with Purpose. And what this is allowing you on demand to press a button and hit a ball with pace a lot harder than you would have hit it in last year's game. So you have your regular pass speed, but if you hold a modifier, you can hit that ball with a little bit of zip to get it through a tight hole or a little bit further distance to somebody who might have somebody on their back. And it allows you to unlock those defenses that we talked about with a little bit more precision if the context is right. As with everything, we try to do it in balance though, so there's a realistic effect if you play a ball into somebody's feet who is going to have a difficult time controlling it, or if you're trying to hit that ball with pace in a difficult situation where the ball's bouncing or maybe you're off balance, there's going to be realistic error effects applied to that too, so it'll all be in balance. I think the net result though is with innovation across the entire pitch. This is just a nutshell of what we're doing. I know I talked for ages here, but it's just a nutshell of what we're doing at the tip of the iceberg, and there's changes across the entire pitch that are really going to make FIFA feel a lot more solid, a lot more fluid, and still have those moments of magic that we've become known for.